Hey guys, it's Sarah and today is BookList Thursday. This is a video series I do with my friend Lindsay over at Lindsay's Little Library, and every Thursday we bring you some sort of list or book topic that we feel like talking about for the week. And this week we are doing our 5-star prediction follow-up that we posted from last month, and this time we are working with Brianna from Four Paws and a Book. So last month we all picked 3 different books from 3 different new to us authors. So authors that we have never read from before, but we have some of their books, and these are the ones that we think are going to be 5 stars, and we read them, and now we are going to tell you what our final thoughts are. Okay, so the first one that I have here is As Bright as Heaven by Susan Meissner. I have a couple of Susan Meissner books, and of the 3, I thought I would give this one a shot because this is the one that I hear the most about all the time. I always hear this is so good. It is a historical fiction. It follows the Bright family who is living in Philadelphia in 1918 when the Spanish flu hit the world. So the Bright family consists of mother, father, 3 young girls, and they recently moved to Philadelphia for a change. And you are following them as they get acclimated to Philadelphia and start making friends in their school and just, kind of making their way in this new city. And you are following them as they're doing that. There is World War I starting, so that's happening, like a draft is happening, all that stuff as well. That is definitely affecting their family and people around them. And then the Spanish flu hits. And in Philadelphia, the flu pandemic really hit them hard when there was a parade that happened in downtown Philadelphia where it just completely spread and got so many people sick. So many people were dying because this is 1918. They didn't have the type of medical conveniences that we have today. So a lot of people were dying because of this flu pandemic. And it was really interesting because definitely a lot of similarities to what we're dealing with today, even still. Everyone's wearing masks, everything's shut down, school was canceled, like just the entire town shut down just about. The economy suffered big time because of that. You limited your exposure to anything and everybody. So a lot of that was still the same. You see them trying to come up with a vaccine. Does the vaccine even work? Like that was a whole thing too. And it was really interesting that way. So lots of similarities to what is going on and has been going on here in the past couple of years. So that was cool. You're also seeing a war side of it as well because there is a war happening and soldiers are getting sick. Whoa, and that's hurting our military and that's hurting our chances in the war and what's going on with that. So there's a whole lot going on. There's also some love stories in here as well because you're seeing them build relationships with people and falling in love and doing all that kind of thing. So there was a lot going on in this book for sure. I really ended up loving this book. However, when I finished it, I didn't feel like it was a 5-star read. I felt like it was a 4. And I don't really know what it is. I think because I was reading it and I was enjoying it, but I wasn't completely invested. It wasn't taking over everything. It wasn't like, I can't wait to pick this back up again and see what happens. So it wasn't that reading experience for me. It was just really consistently good throughout the entire book. And when I was done, I was like, okay, that was really good. But it wasn't like, oh, I loved this so much. I didn't get that feeling. So I gave it a 4. But I did really love it, and I definitely want to read more from her. So luckily I have a couple more things on my shelves that I can read from her. But yeah, so this was a 4. The next one is Where the Lost Wander by Amy Harmon. And this is another historical book. This one takes place in the 1800s. And we are following a group of people who are traveling along kind of like an Oregon Trail type thing. So wagons, horses, moving your entire life along with you and settling in other places. So that's what's happening in this book. And we're following a group, and this group consists of several different families from different places, and they're all coming together and they're traveling together. And the reason they do that is because it's safer that way. You are going across many different states, many different territories, encountering many different types of people. Some of them are dangerous. So traveling in big groups is a lot safer to do. So that's why they kind of all come together and do that. Now, you are also following a love story in here between Naomi and John, who are two of the travelers. Oh man, okay. So I love this love story. It's one of my favorites. It's fantastic. So Naomi is a white woman who is from this big family. She's traveling with her family. John is half Pawnee and half white. So I believe his father was white, his mother was Pawnee. And so he is part of this group as well in a different capacity. He's not traveling with like his whole family or anything. He's more of a little bit of a loner, but he's traveling for his own reasons. And you follow their love story because they meet and they start falling in love on this journey. And it's interesting because they're both planning to go their separate ways, but they are falling in love, which makes that a little difficult because, you know, are you going to change your plans? Well, are you going to change your plans? Like, what are we going to do? Are we just going to part ways? What's going on? How do we, you know, navigate all this? And you see a lot of different encounters with people along the way. You see them traveling with different types of people as well. And there's definitely some very scary situations in here that have to do with Native American tribes at the time, because that's a lot of land that they are going across. Now, John being half Pawnee, in some instances that helps them because he can relate to people. He can relate to some of the people in the tribes and they come to respect him and they understand and, you know, all that stuff. He can kind of talk to them in a different way, sometimes in a different language, and it helps them. Other times he can come across different types of people who it hurts them that he's half Pawnee, and they end up in dangerous situations anyway. So it's very interesting that way for sure. And just seeing like what the real dangers were of being in this type of situation. Like, it was incredible. So I absolutely adored every single page of this book. The book darts are real, you guys. So many book darts in here. The things that John and Naomi were saying to each other were just, that's most of my darts, is like what John was saying to her or what she was saying to him. And I love their love story so much. And the way that they respected each other is just like goals. And Naomi is very much a strong woman. And she's like, I'm not playing around. I'm not playing games. Like, here's how, this is what I want. I'm telling you what I want. When most women would be like demure and kind of hinting at things. And she's like, no, I want you. So I loved her. So, but it was fantastic. I enjoyed every single page of this book, and 100% 5 stars. I want to read everything by Amy Harmon now for sure. And just, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was beautiful. Okay, the next one is Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. And this one, ooh, okay, buckle up, guys. Buckle up for this one. This is very much an adult book. And I would say, I would categorize this as a mystery thriller. There's definitely some thrilling scenes in here and some thrilling aspects, but it's not something like start to finish thrilling, if you will. There's a lot of mystery in here, which can just be a little bit slower. You're trying to figure some things out. You're following them along, trying to figure some things out. So this follows Ike and Buddy Lee. They are two grown men. They are fathers. They are both ex-convicts. They have both served time. They are both now out and living their lives and trying to be better people, basically. And the thing that brings them together is that their sons are married. So both of their sons are gay. They were married, and they have both been murdered. It was like a double homicide type thing. And that's how the book starts out, is that you know that their sons have been killed. They're at their funerals, all that kind of stuff. So they don't know why their sons were killed. Like, there's no explanation. They're assuming it's a hate crime. That's really all they can, can come to conclusion for, but they don't really fully know, and they don't know who did it. The police investigation is going nowhere. It's basically kind of turning cold. They cannot figure out who killed them or why. So Ike and Buddy Lee decide to come together, and try to figure it out themselves because they have some connections. They know how to find people. They know how to shake people down. They know how to get answers out of people in very unconventional ways. So they take it upon themselves to try to figure out who killed their sons, why, and try to bring some justice to them. So it's basically a big revenge story. Now, both of them struggle with the fact that they did not treat their sons very well when they were alive. They were not accepting of their sexuality, and they both struggle with that and have regrets about that. So this is also something that they feel they need to do in order to make that up to their sons. So that's a big theme in here as well. And so you follow them along with, trying to figure some things out and retracing their son's steps and who they're in contact with and tracking these people down and trying to find, you see them do all these things, right? Ooh, okay. It gets very violent. There are a lot of graphic violence scenes in this book. So if you don't like graphic, gory descriptions, skip it. I happen to like that. And even I was squirming a couple times. I was reading, it was late at night and I was in bed reading and my husband was sitting next to me and I was out loud, I said, ew. And he was like, you okay? I said, this scene is not okay. Whoa. So I don't do that very often, but I did it in this one for sure. So there is that. There's also a lot of talk about racism and instilled racism and unconscious racism as well, because Ike is Black, Buddy Lee is white. And so they were raised very differently. And you see a lot of that come out in their conversations and the way that people treat them as well. So that's also really interesting in here. And I like that the author is not afraid to have these hard conversations and is not afraid to say things that is said in here that these characters say. So some of it's hard to stomach, but it's also reality. So yeah, it was just, gosh, you guys, this writing was so good. I will read anything this man pens 100%. I absolutely loved this. Loved, loved, loved. So new author that I am going to be reading more from for sure. And anything in the future that comes out, I will be picking up because this was just so fantastic. Again, I have book darts in here as well, as you can see. But yeah, loved it. 5 stars. Okay, guys, that is it for me today. So pretty good wrap up. 2 5 stars and a 4 star. So that's really good. And it was a really high 4 star. I just needed something a little bit extra to make it a 5, but it was still really, really good. So I think I did a pretty good job on predicting some 5 stars reads for this round. So please make sure you go check out Lindsey and Brianna today. I will have both of their channels linked down below because they are wrapping up their predictions as well today. I'm excited to see what they thought because we have not talked about it. So I'm excited to see what their outcome was as well. So make sure you go check them out and we will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.